What up, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? What is happening? Welcome to Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Happy Wednesday, September 29th to all of you. I am coming off a very frustrating day. There was a lot of excellent capping done on this show yesterday. It just really wasn't done by me as much as everybody else. We got to start off by giving a giant shout out to Birdy. He gave us the 7-horse gold medal in race 2. Morning line 8-1, went off at 11-1, cashed while the show was going on. And I didn't realize, because I get so caught up with the Australian racing, I thought it was going to be later on in the day. I didn't realize I would have bet it right then and there. I need to know if the race is going on right now. Somebody make a huge point to me to get that bet in. Birdy, great job. Then he gives us the NHL parlay of the day. Sabres money line, Rangers money line, under 5.5, Tampa Bay, Carolina at plus 581, and that cashes too. Birdy, great job. For me, I thought the capping was pretty sound, but I lose the Rays full game at plus 110 when Loshak cashes the first 5 at plus 125, and it was 3-2 going into the bottom of the 9th for the Rays. I was very confident that Bruce Zimmermann was going to have a nice start. And one thing I talk about, one of the great parts of Ski Profit, is what a great bettor he is. I was very confident Bruce Zimmermann was going to have a good start against the Red Sox, and I don't get paid for it. What terrible betting. Orioles first 3 plus a half. They're down 1-0 after 3. The total went from 5 to 4.5, and I got scared off of it. Extremely irritating. A's first 4.5 minus a half. They were up 1-0 going into the bottom of the 4th inning. The Brewers first 5 minus 120 was a loss. They were up 2-0 going to the bottom of the 4th inning. So 2 and 5 day down 3.7 units. And then the Ottawa RedBlacks sharpen a chopstick and drop a small slit on my larynx. Just shocking performance. And I guess there was ignorance on my behalf when I didn't know what to expect from the Red Blacks quarterback, new quarterback, third-string quarterback. And it was very irritating, very upsetting, very angry. But we had a great NFL show, and I'm very happy to be rocking with you guys today. Michael Orvalina says, Jimmy, I have a question for you. You said on your football video you love to fade what the public sees the week before, which can make sense. But then you took the Bengals and kept talking about the week before. So I'm just curious on your logic in that game compared to the others. Well, I think that's an interesting game because the Jaguars played well the week before as well. You know, the Jaguars were up, 19-10 in the third quarter on the Arizona Cardinals. But yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. I think that this is the Cincinnati Bengals showcase on national television to show everybody how good they are. I understand that the Pittsburgh Steelers have sort of been the boogeyman for the Cincinnati Bengals, and they had to get over that hump and beat them badly. But I see a sad Pittsburgh Steelers football team cowering in the corner. I think this is their chance on Thursday night on national television to show just how spectacular Burrow and Jamar Chase are together, just how spectacular this team has become. So, yeah, you're right. And maybe this blows up in my face. Maybe this is a perfect example of a recency bias affecting my proper judgment. And we're going to do an NFL review. We do have Nolly Knows joining us too, and he's going to talk a little NFL with us. We'll close the show with that. But I'm very bullish on the Bengals on Thursday night. I just think this is their chance to show out. So, Michael Lewis says you took out there because the Cowboys' big week, but then took the Bengals after a big week and a collapse of the Jags. I admit the Jags are shit, but nothing has shown over the years that Bengals will, come to play and blow out teams. You're right. Nothing has, and that's why we're getting a pretty nice number on the 4 and 7.5, and that's why there's a lot of doubt with the Bengals. And again, we're talking about biases here, and Michael Orvalina, you have a vividness bias by saying that nothing has shown over the years the Bengals will come to play and blow out teams. So you have a vividness bias, and we all have these biases of the Bengals being a shit football team. But I think they are a good football team this year. And I mean, it's not like they're going to mess with the Browns in that division. But I think this is a showcase spot for them. I think this is a big showcase spot for them. And yes, I'm bullish. So maybe this blows up in my face. There's Jared JB in the house, Team Underground, Brian Watson, Ron Crawford, spreadsheet plays other day in. Dodgers -1.5 and Cleveland at -120. Dodgers -1.5, Cleveland -120. Let me lock these in here and copy and paste them and set them up for our breakdowns. So Dodgers and Cleveland. Let's get there quickly. Dodgers, Cleveland. So the Indians, that is not a game that Nolly is using. So that will be a game that we'll break down together. And I believe the Dodgers are the same. Not a Nolly Knows breakdown game. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet plays of the day are in, baby, in. Gerald Jones in the house, Nut Flush Allen, Michael Irvalina, Mike M, TJ. What a great group. We got Birdy back in action off his just spectacular day. What a day Birdy had. Jesus. Ick Schnizzle, Serious Business, Henry Dice, 2-0 on NHL, thanking Birdy. Can't wait to cap the whole year with him. Very, very, very exciting. Danny Lopez says, morning, fellas. Best look of the day for him is Atalanta and the Young Boys, both team to score in the Champions League. There's Puzzler. Mark Schillingberg says, I bet New York first 5 run line +120. Atlanta first 5 run line +120. Texas first 5 run line +110. Pittsburgh first 5 run line. Can't remember the juice. Can't wait to see Contreras today. Yes, the 21-year-old fireballer. It's going to be very exciting to see him pitching. All right, it is time to get to work. There's Jacksonville, Zoe, TJ, you are a good man. Hit the BBB hockey parlay and his hockey picks too. Birdy just handing out cash to all. Handing out cash to all. I love it. Sammy Calmer ready to go. Jeffrey Ballou says easy win for the Blue Balls with the Yanks team total over. More looks for Danny Lopez, but it's time to get to work. The Blue Balls play today is in Cubbies over 8.5 in that game. Let me pop that up. So Mark Schillingberg's action is in. I'm going to copy and paste that here quickly. Let's get that up at the very top and get that here. All right. And then we have the Blue Balls play today on the Cubbies over 8.5 against the Pirates. That will be our first game on the breakdown against Rowan C. Contreras going up against Kyle Hendricks. And then we have more looks. So let's just paste a couple more things here. We have from TJ Sanderson Farms Golf Plays posted. Says it is his bread and butter. So I will copy and paste that. I'll also tweet out your action, although I think that pops off very, very soon. Red Girl coming off a 7-1 night. Nice job. Taint play today is in. Taint play of the day. We have 2 Taint plays of the day here. I'm going to copy and paste this. So Taint is in. He starts with Detroit, Minnesota. Let's get over there right now. I believe that's, here we go. That is one of Nolly's games, Detroit, Minnesota. So that will be the last game that we break down. That is a Taint play of the day on the under. And then Philadelphia, Atlanta also on the under, and both Nolly Knows plays. So you could have an idea if Nolly Knows is on it, what Nolly Knows is likely to be betting. But Taint is in. Sweaty Butcher coming off a giant day as well. There's Von Polo in the house. Lit picks. Harrell Williams. Great work. Great work by all. And let's get right to work. What's my man Slatsy saying? RedBlacks used the other chopstick on me, but Birdy more than saved the day on the Braves, who are 8-0 versus right-handed pitching last 8. All right, let's get to work. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. I need a bounce back day. And God, looking over my action, I just felt like the looks were sound. And to sit here 2-5 makes me fucking angry. But who knows? Maybe I can take it out on Jose. I do have 2 sick kids here in the apartment, so I can't lose my shit on screen. the way I'd like to after how I feel yesterday. All right, let's get to work. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on Pub Sports Radio. We do have a bit of a different schedule because Nolly Knows has picked his 4 games that he will attack. And Jose, if you could send our man Nolly the link, I have not done that this morning. All right, let's go. Chicago Cubs at Pittsburgh Pirates. Cubbies 67-90, 28-48 on the road at the Pirates, 59-48, 35-41 at home. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 70 Fahrenheit clear, 4 miles per hour out to right. And Kev Riley says 4-unit bet, best bet on San Francisco -1.5. And there's Birdy's NHL looks here as well. And we have the Birdy's Bird Nest Builder at plus 852 today. So he gave out his first Birdy's Bird Nest Builder NHL parlay today. We got to track these. Okay, how about this? I will, unless you've already done it, unless you've already got a spreadsheet going, I will get a spreadsheet going for your parlays because they're fun. And you started out with a plus 581 winner. But we have another Bird's Nest Builder NHL parlay today. Wings money line, Devils money line, Blues money line at plus 852. All right, so let's get back to work here. 70 Fahrenheit clear, 4 miles per hour out to right center. Kyle Hendricks going up against the 21-year-old Roansy Contreras. Hendricks 14-7, 4.81 ERA, 1.35 whip, 176 innings, 126 Ks, 43 walks, 31 home runs. In his last start, 5 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 0 walks, 3 Ks, and a 5-4 loss at home versus the Twins. At home, he's being poor. 6-5, 5.24 ERA, 286 opponent's batting average. On the road, he's being quite a bit better. 8-2, 4.32 ERA, 270 opponent's batting average. Going up against the fireballer Contreras. Combined with AA Altoona and AAA Indianapolis. Look at these numbers. 3-2, 2.64 ERA, 0.93 whip, 82 strikeouts in 58 innings, 82 strikeouts and 13 walks, and just 5 home runs allowed in 58 innings. The Cubs are smashing righties, 261, 798 OPS. Pirates versus righties, 240, 711 OPS. Cubs bullpen being bad last 30 days, 5.26 ERA, while the Pirates bullpen sitting at 4.21 ERA. Crystal Warren says, man, I wanted to put a bet on the kids' K-props, but none of the books are offering them. There's Trotwham in the house. Matty Ice says Pirates first 5 for me. Pirates first 5 for Matty Ice. Let's take a look at the market move, and let's take a look at the baseball data here. With baseball data, we're only going to get batter versus pitcher. So we have, of course, we're only going to get Kyle Hendricks. Against Kyle Hendricks, 262 with a 737 OPS against Hendricks. And, of course, nothing versus Contreras as he's making his major league debut. All right, let's take a look at the market movement here. We have the Cubbies opening up at -108. Now they're at -110. This total opened up at 8.5, -114 to the over. There's been a 4-cent move towards the under. Let's move to the cash flow in this spot. And here we go. In this game, just 1,248 tickets in. 51% of the tickets, 92% of the cash on the Cubs. Expecting the kid to get touched. Now that just changed to 50-50 on the money line tickets and 89% on the cash. And then for the total, 45% of the tickets on the over, 68% of the cash on the over. Harold Williams took the over in yesterday's game over 8.5. Nice job. Razor sharp picks. Yeah, it's look, I was right there with you on that Rays spot, and it's frustrating, man. Very, 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 very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Henry Dice says again over 8.5. Smash it. Again over 8.5. Smash it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have an angle on what Contreras is going to do, the 21-year-old. I don't. But it wouldn't surprise me if he's good. His AA and AAA numbers were excellent. He's pitching at home. It's a cool day. There's not a lot of wind. It's a pitcher's ballpark. We have how much of the cash was on the over there? We had 68% of the cash on the over. Why don't we just take a look at the first 5 total here? Henry Dice saying smash this over 8.5. Again, we're going to look at this first 5 total right now. in Cubbies Pirates. Cubbies Pirates and opened at 4.5 at -110. There's been a 4-cent move to the under 4.5. God, I guess that's where I would go. Mark Schellenberg says Cubs basically have a AAA lineup and Pirates trying desperately not to lose 100. Look what the Cubbies are doing with this AAA lineup against righties. Last 30 days, 261, 798 OPS. Jeffrey Blue says, who cares what the kid does? And he's on the over 8.5. He says, who cares what the kid does? Hendricks and bullpen should get us out of there. I think that I'm not going to sit here and hum and haw over this game, but I would expect him to have a good start and that the first 5 under 4.5 would be in play. And then the bullpens get rocked. Puzzler says, regardless of his stuff, he doesn't know how to pitch to real major league hitters. Now, Flashan says Cubs overs have been cashing. I'm hesitant to put money on this. So I'm going to put 4 question marks there. Michael O'Brien says, did Jose's K-prop hit last night? It did not. 6 Ks. He was a half K away from that. And I'm sure he'll regale us with his anger watching the Red Sox lose to the Orioles in such a giant, giant game. There's Ski Profit in the house. So let's move on past this spot. I don't want to – look, his numbers in AA, Altoona, and AAA Indianapolis are incredible. And we've seen guys – come up like Otto for the Rangers, young star pitchers, and pitch very well in that first game, and then get knocked around. It wouldn't surprise me if Contreras can have a nice start. Again, it's a risky spot. Let's move on. There is your first game on the card. There's Nasty Nate, Kenny Can in the house. Nolly Knows will be joining us at the bottom of the hour. Next up, 7:05 p.m. Eastern, Boston Red Sox. Shit, I'm blurry. My camera messing with me. That will, there we go. Fixed right there. Okay. Boston Red Sox at Baltimore Orioles is next on the docket. Camden Yards, Baltimore, Maryland. 67 Fahrenheit, clear, 5 miles per hour in. You know, I was very angry last night at how baseball ended up working out for me, but not quite as angry as our producer, Jose Bouquet. Why don't we get a little taste of how angry he is? Why don't we bring him onto the show right now? Jose, talk to us about your Boston Red Sox.
It's quite honestly pathetic, to be honest. It's so frustrating, Jimmy. I don't know if you've had this experience with your Nucks, but this team, like, I want to love this team. I want to fully embrace this team as the good team that they are, because they are good. This is a good team. Like, they have the hitting pieces of all, like, the championship teams. Like, JD Martinez is still there. Rafael Devers is the best third baseman in baseball. Xander Bogaerts is a top 3 shortstop. The pitching is fine. Chris Sale is one of the best pitchers in baseball, except that cocksucker motherfucker didn't want to throw one more slider to Austin Hayes to strike him out to give me my K-prop. Instead, Christian Vasquez, that fat fuck, wants to throw a high fastball, back-to-back fastballs on Austin Hayes, and eventually lead to Chris Sale getting pulled, which really frustrates me. I'm not going to criticize my manager, Alex Cora, but we need Chris Sale to pitch more than 90 pitches against the Orioles when we don't have a bullpen. It's shocking. The Red Sox MVP this year is Garrett Whitlock, who's on the IL, and he's a Rule 5 pick from the Yankees, and now it's pathetic. Jimmy, here's a fun fact about me. In 2011, I think, when the year collapse was, I just call it Game 162. I was a child, and I watched that game, and I watched the fucking Yankees blow like an 11-run lead to the fucking stupid Rays and fucking stupid ass Evan Longoria, who I fucking can't stand now, and Dan Johnson's fat ass too. I can't stand him. So I watched them blow that game, and I fucking took my controller and I fucking hucked it at my TV. I threw it as hard as I could. Obviously, I was a little boy with a noodle arm, so it didn't break the TV. It just came back and almost hit me. But I was so fucking angry, Jimmy. I was so fucking angry. And it's setting up again, Jimmy. All the fucking stars are coming back again. I'm so fucking angry that this bullshit is happening again. We're stuck in this bullshit-ass position. We're one of the best teams in baseball, and we keep fucking ourselves. Because it's not even the Yankees. The Yankees are not better than us. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break it to everyone. Mike Stanton might have shit down my throat all last week, but the Yankees are just not a better ball club. They have better starting pitching. The Red Sox have better starting pitching. They have a better bullpen, and their lineup is just pure better. It's just facts. They're better than the Blue Jays too. All they have is a fantastic lineup. It's pathetic. It's honestly so fucking frustrating. And I know if this team can get into the playoffs, they can fucking compete against the Rays in the division series. But those fucking losers can't fucking get in this stupid fucking wild card game. It's fucking pathetic. Goodbye.
Oh, God. That makes me feel a lot better. I tell you, that makes me feel much better. Nathan Eovaldi, Zach Lowther going up against each other at Camden Yards, Baltimore, Maryland today. 67 Fahrenheit, clear, 5 miles per hour. And that gave me some energy, too. Nathan Eovaldi, 10-9, 3.88 ERA, 1.20 whip, 176 in the third, 188 Ks, 34 walks, 15 home runs. In his last start, he makes it just 2 2/3, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, no Ks in an 8-3 loss versus the Yankees. He did not look good. And E also had the Red Sox hurt him badly. I hate seeing that. At home, he's a good pitcher. 6-4, 3.47 ERA, 2.41 opponent's batting average. On the road, he struggles. 4-5, 4.62 ERA, 2.79 opponent's batting average. Going up against Zach Lowther. Zach Lowther, second-round draft pick in 2017 out of Xavier. He's gone this year from rookie ball to high A to double A to triple A, and now he's in the show. Across the 4 leagues before he was in the show, he was 0-6 with a 5.49 ERA, 1.55 whip. I did not believe in the young man, and in his last start, he was excellent. 5 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks, and a 3-0 win at home versus the Rangers. Now he has back-to-back home starts for the youngster. Red Sox versus lefties, 278, 769 OPS. Orioles versus righties, 221, 680 OPS. Red Sox bullpen, 4.10 ERA over the last 30 days, while the Orioles bullpen, 6.84 ERA over the last 30 days. All right. With all that being said, I don't want the Red Sox at this big of a price. And I know what they are doing to lefties right now, so I don't really want to mess with them. This first 5 total has gone up. It's gone up 16 cents. It has also moved to 5.5 at a couple books. Let's go back to full game money lines and totals here and take a look at what Eovaldi's numbers are against these Orioles. So Eovaldi against these Orioles, they're hitting 333, but with a 787 OPS. So they're 24 for 72, but 21 of those 24 hits are singles. And Zach Lowther has been touched already by these Red Sox. 10 for 25 against them, 400 with a 963 OPS. Let's take a look at the market move here with the Red Sox. They open up at minus 235. They're now minus 247, a 12-cent move towards the Boston Red Sox. And this total at 9.5 was juiced to the under at minus 111. There's been a 4-cent move to the over. Let's move over to the cash flow in this spot. We have 3,568 tickets in. 86% of tickets, 96% of the cash on the Red Sox. And they say that the Orioles will go down to plus 205, interestingly enough. So with all that ticket money on the Red Sox, the market moving towards the Orioles at this point. Now we have 56% of the tickets and 67% of the cash on the over. And I want nothing to do with this spot and this game. There's Chris Brady in the house. Brian Danso is on the Red Sox run line. Jeffrey Blue on the
Could you believe it, Jimmy? Could you believe that this team was in first place for half this year and they fucking fall all the way back to fucking fighting for a wild card spot? Could you fucking believe it, Jimmy? Could you fucking believe it? My fucking game, by the way, is the Seattle-Oakland game. I'm going to tell you that now. But God damn it, could this fucking team pull their heads out of their ass one fucking time and go 5-1 for these last 5 games and fucking make my fucking week a lot better, Jimmy? Because, Jimmy, guess what? If they go 4-2, or I guess, if they go 4-2 in these last 6 games, Jimmy, I'm not going to be pleasant to be around, Jimmy. I am not going to be pleasant to be around. Helga is not going to like me. You're going to like me less. And it is going to be decide my week, my mood, my everything for the next off season. So,
I think the opposite. I like seeing you angry and disheveled and down in the dumps. I don't know why. I get a sick joy out of it. So,
well, good. I was about to take like Crystal Warren. I've said she's been talking about shoelaces. I almost tied myself up like the dude from Shawshank and wrote Jose was here and fucking hugged myself after fucking last night. What a pathetic performance. I'm done with it.
That's a little dramatic. Let's stay alive. Why don't we stay alive? Because if you're not alive, it's not as funny. We move on to Miami Marlins at New York Mets, 7:10 p.m. Eastern. The Marlins 64-93, 24-55 on the road. Mets 75-82, 46-33 at home. We're at Citi Field in Queens, New York. 66 Fahrenheit clear, 7 miles per hour in. Eliezer Hernandez going up against Taijuan Walker. Look, I told you about a month ago that I liked what Eliezer Hernandez was doing on the mound. I wanted to back him, and I did, and it's cost me money. And now I don't want to go back to the Eliezer Hernandez well. 1-3, 4.24 ERA, 1.33 whip, 46 2/3, 47 Ks, 14 walks, and 12 home runs. His last start, he went 4 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 homers, 2 walks, 7 Ks, in a 7-5 loss at home versus the Nationals. Taijuan Walker, 7-11, 4.57 ERA, 1.2 on whip, 151 2/3, 141 Ks. Ski Prophet saying Hernandez got rocked last out. He did. He's not looked good. Either is Taijuan Walker. He was at the Red Sox. He only made it through 2 innings, 6 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 walks, 1 K. And he's not been good on the road all year. 3-7, 5.82 ERA, 258 opponent's batting average. In the confines of Citi Field, though, he's been quite good. 4-4, 3.55 ERA, 206 opponents batting average. Marlins versus righties last 30 days, 229 with a 670 OPS. Mets versus righties, 260, 790 OPS. Deacon. Marlins bullpen over the last 30 days has been very good, 3.36 ERA, and Mets bullpen has improved to a 3.92 ERA. Let's move over to the market move and the baseball data here in this spot. Marlins Mets against Eliezer Hernandez. They're hitting the Mets just 231 with a 766 OPS. They're 9 for 39. Against Taijuan Walker, 15 for 45, but just 4 of those 15 hits are for extra bases. 333 with an 842 OPS. There's Nate Dogg in the house. Razor setting him off. Okay, let's take a look at the cash flow and the market move. First off, in this game, Mets open up at -155. They're now -170, a 15-cent move towards them. And this under opened at 7.5, -115. It's now at -111. And I haven't made a bet today. I was just so angry last night. And just focusing on NFL, really, and I have not moved on anything. Is this a spot to move on? So we've seen a 15-cent move towards the New York Mets. We know that Eliezer Hernandez has not looked very good at late. We know that this is a possible bounce-back spot for Taijuan Walker being at home and being against a team that is not hitting righties. 1,437 tickets in. Look at this. 17% of the 29% of the money line tickets on the Marlins, 13% of the cash. 29% of the tickets, 13% of the cash on the Marlins. And then from a total perspective, 43% of tickets on the over, 58% of the cash on the over. It just feels like a get-right spot for Taijuan Walker. It does. Let's just take another look at his game log before we decide to pull the trigger on this ball club here. Feels like a get-right spot for Taijuan Walker. Do we want to trust Taijuan Walker here? And what would the cost be for them first 5 -0.5? Again, the Marlins bullpen has been looking very good of late, and feels like the Mets have sort of given up. But 3 of his last 4 starts, he's allowed 5 runs. I cannot take him at a favorite price. Maybe it's a bounce-back spot. Crystal Warren says, why is the total so low? Both these pitchers can get hit, especially the long ball. They have to think this is a bounce-back spot for Taijuan Walker. Ours on the Marlins +1.5. So they're telling us that this first 5 is going to be a 4. 7 miles per hour in, and it's cold in New York, but a 4? A 2-cent move to the over. Really? They're only going to allow 3 runs? Yes, Jason Falk. That would be Gas Station Sushi. He was talking about flat betting St. Louis after the All-Star break every single game, and he has done that. Really? I think they got to get to 4, don't they? Let's just go back to where the tickets are in this spot. 1,437 tickets in, 58% of the tickets on the over. All right, a first 5 over 4. It's got to be. Deacon Mike says, wind blowing in and pitchers have only given up 1 home run against this lineup. It's a very low total. There's no doubt about it. I lean towards the first 5 over 4, but you're right. It's cold. The wind's blowing in. Okay, I'm going to put a question mark beside that first 5 over 4, and we will get back to it. Thank you, Joshua Kiokanlaya, my guy. Eric Jones on the Mets money line. We move on to 7:45 p.m. Eastern, and it is the Milwaukee Brewers at St. Louis Cardinals. Brew Crew 94-63, 49-27 on the road. Cardinals 88-69, 43-33 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. TJ says juice on the under. Will it go to 3.5 in that Marlins spot? Let's just go to Bet Online and see what they've done with it. They haven't moved it. I don't think so. I think it'll just add juice, personally. But if it goes to 3.5, then the under is probably the look. All right, 84 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour, sideways in. The Cardinals celebrated last night, and we've dealt with this a few times already this year. Adrian Hauser going up against Miles Michaelis. Hauser 9-6, 3.34 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, 137 in the third, 104 K, 62 walks, 12 home runs. We thought that Hauser had stopped this Cardinals winning streak in his last start. He went 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 Ks. But the bullpen fell apart, and the Cardinals won 8-5. At home, he's very good, 3-3, 2.81 ERA, 2.23 opponent's batting average. A little worse on the road, 6-3, 3.96 ERA, 2.35 opponent's batting average. TJ says then the full game under is the look, in his opinion. All right. There's Top Set in the house. Top Set has been in the ICU, and we've been thinking about him and sending him so much love. It's so great to see you. He was in the chat for our football show last night, and so much love your way, healing energy your way to our guy Top Set. We love you so much. If you could give us any kind of update, that would be wonderful. So many people, so many different cappers are asking about you and thinking about you. Top Set. Wonderful to have you in the chat. Miles Michaelis on the hill on the other side, 2-2, 4.15 ERA, 1.18 WHIP, 24 Ks in 39 innings, 10 walks. He's not looked very good. In his last start at the Brewers was his best start yet. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, and a 10 to win at the Brewers. Brewers versus righties, 242, 722 OPS. Cardinals versus righties, last 30 days, 255, 751 OPS. And the Brewers bullpen has fallen apart in the worst time now, 4.84 ERA over the last 30. Cardinals bullpen 3.11 ERA. Ron Crawford said St. Louis is done. Do they even care except for the streak? Is a good question. Do they even care except for the streak? That's a good question. I don't know if they do. I do not know if they do. Let's take a look at the batter versus pitcher. Against Hauser, 243 with a 676 OPS. Against Miles Michaelis, 250 with a 768 OPS. Let's go over to the market move and the cash in this spot. These first 5 total opened up at 4 at minus 120. It's now at 4 at minus 112, so an 8-cent move to the under. And that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me in this spot. Let's go to full game market moves here. We see the 8 at minus 106 is now 8 at minus 113, so a 7-cent move towards the under. And from the Cardinals opening up as favorites, it is now the Brewers that are favorites. Brewers are now favorites. Ron Crawford says St. Louis done. Do they even care except for the streak? Deacon says I hope St. Louis collapses along with the dump down. Jeez, Deacon. Okay. It feels like a first 5 under spot. Ski Prof says, did we already talk Phillies Braves? No, that is one of Nolly Knows' games. So we're going to be breaking that down with Nolly Knows at the bottom of the hour. Giants game is unbeatable. To only play in today's game is full game over. Wait to see confirmed lineups, but heavy lean to the over 8 from Nut Flush Allen. Does feel like a lazy spot. Kevin Riley says pass. Kevin's been running so hot right now. Thank you, Dutch Boy Fresh. Yeah, 3-hour show last night for NFL. We beat up that card, and thank you for the kind words, man. You were excellent on Sunday, by the way. 4-2 day for you, giving out picks on Sunday. You were excellent. In a private room, stable and hoping to go home tomorrow. Says he lost a lot of blood, and thank you for all the energy. Top set, we love you so much. Thank you for checking in with us and letting us know that you're improving. And we're thinking about you, sending you prayers and love and positive energy. Puzzler said St. Louis clinched last night, so I won't be on them today. It feels like a first 500 spot. Where was the cash on this? We had 1,097 tickets in, so just starting to accumulate. 66% of the money line tickets on the card, 60% of the cash. So I'm going to put a first 5 under 4 here, and then I will come back to it. Eric Jones leaning towards the Cards money line. Ryan Taylor says, do you like the Bruins here, like them, or Brewers here? Like them last night. That bullpen's been so bad, and the bats have fallen asleep. Bats have fallen asleep. Okay, we move on. 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Angels at Texas Rangers. And I wanted AJ Alexei and just didn't have the balls to back him last night. Really starting to maybe I need Jose to talk about the Red Sox again to get me smiling. Angels, Rangers, Globe Life Field, Arlington, Texas. What is going on with the roof in this joint? Because it is a nice night in Texas, 83 Fahrenheit. It is humid, partly cloudy, 8 miles per hour sideways. Old Jansen Junk on the mound, 25-year-old, 22nd round pick by the Yankees out of Seattle University. Jansen Junk in Double-A. He only played Double-A, but he looked very good in Double-A. 6-3, 2.81 ERA, 1.10 WHIP, 97 Ks in 93 innings. 97 Ks in 93 innings. His last start, 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 1 walk, 1 K, and a 9-5 extra inning loss at home versus the Astros. It was a very warm night with the wind blowing out, and we knew offense was going to be in, and he wasn't that bad. He wasn't that bad in those 4 innings. He's got a 1.25 WHIP, 3.75 ERA in 12 big league innings this year. Taylor Hearn is a pitcher that I would like to back. He had a nice start at the Yankees. He went 5 1/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, no homers, 4 walks, 3 Ks, 7-3 loss. And the Angels aren't hitting lefties at all, 224, 682 OPS. And the Rangers aren't hitting righties. Not hitting righties at all. Angels bullpen 4.64 ERA over the last 30 days. Rangers bullpen has been good, 3.68 ERA over the last 30 days. Let's take a look and see if Hearn has faced these Angels before, and he has. They're 5 for 40 against them. 5 for 40 with a double and a homer. They're hitting 125 with a 388 OPS. And we have 15 at-bats against Junk, and they're 6 for 15 against them. And Nupflesh On says one of the best parts of the football show last night was seeing Top Set post good test results. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Pimp Slap play today is Texas Rangers full game from our Mike M. Seems like they're still trying while other teams aren't. Let's take a look at the market move. You certainly don't want Texas at too big of a favorite line. There's been a 9-cent move towards them, opening up at -107, now -116. This total opened up at 9. It's now juiced to the under 9 at -114, and there are 8.5s on the board now. 8.5s have hit the board. Let's take a closer look at this here. 1,626 tickets in. We have 53% of the tickets, 59% of the cash on the Rangers, and then 66% of the tickets, 78% of cash on the over. It feels like a Rangers first 5, but there's no point to use the first 5. Full game is fine because this bullpen is better than the Angels bullpen. In fact, does this become a first 5 and full game Rangers double up on the arm of Taylor Hearn? Marcelo saying I'm going to look to go over on this. Mark Schlingberg saying Hearn has been good. I think this is a spot here. Daddy Don, the road, LA Angels team total under. It feels like a Ranger spot, first 5 full game. I think this is a double spot. I expect this to be a double up spot for the Rangers. We'll take one more look. Mike M says double dip, Jimmy. I'll tell that first 5, 2 decent price. It does feel that way. Rangers don't want to lose number 100. They'll fight not to lose that 100th game. Eric Jones leading Angels plus 110. Okay. I'm leaning towards a double dip on the Rangers. We move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Cincinnati Reds at Chicago White Sox. Reds 82-76, 38-39 on the road. White Sox 90-68, 50-27 at home. We're at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois. 69 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour in. Sonny Gray going up against Carlos Rodon. Sonny Gray has the interesting splits that a couple like Molly and a couple of different Reds have, not Castillo. Castillo's the other way around, but where Sonny Gray's been much better on the road than he has been at home. And he's coming off a bad start at home. He's 7-8 this year, 3.99 ERA, 1.21 whip, 149 Ks and 130 and 2/3. Last start, he went 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 4 walks, 3 Ks and 8.7 extra inning win at home versus the Nats. At home, 3-5, 4.89 ERA, 2.32 opponent's batting average. On the road, 4-3, 2.97 ERA, 2.12 opponent's batting average. Wonder if he's worth backing here. Going up against Carlos Rodon and a White Sox team that isn't trying. Carlos Rodon and none of the starting pitchers are being stretched out at all. Rodon 12-5, 2.47 ERA, 0.97 whip, 127 and 2/3, 181 Ks, 34 walks, 13 home runs. In his last start, he went 3 innings. He allowed 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs, 0 homers, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and a 4-3 loss. At the Tigers, the Reds aren't hitting lefties. They're just impossible to trust when there's a lefty on the mound. 213, 678 OPS. And the White Sox are hitting righties. 262, 761 OPS. Again, those numbers are last 30 days. And both bullpens are pitching very well right now. Reds bullpen last 30 days, 3.47 ERA, while the White Sox bullpen, 3.03 ERA over the last 30 days. Let's take a look at baseball data here. In this spot against Gray, they're hitting 106 with a 456 OPS. They're 7 for 66 against them. Against Carlos Rodon, they get to him 379 with a 1.024 OPS. That's interesting. That's I did not expect to see that. Let's talk about this spot here with the market moves included. White Sox open up at minus 155. They're now minus 167, a 12-cent move towards them. And this total has gone from 8 to 7.5. Take a look at the money. And here we go. We have 1,967 tickets in. 68% of the tickets, 87% of the cash on the White Sox. 52% of the tickets, 99% of the cash on the over. Interesting. 2 teams that just don't care. And it's gone from 8 to 7.5. TJ says, watch the first 2 innings. Look for signs of Rodon early exit and live bet the Reds. Smith Legacy also cashing in NHL last night. Great job. So the under is pretty clearly in play here. Bullpen's pitching well, but it's gone from 8 to 7.5. I don't want it at 7.5. All the money's on the over, which is strange. And I guess I just stay off with 2 teams that are playing for no reason. Look, this has gone from an 8.5 opener. I thought this was an 8 opener. Oh, I got to stay off this. I missed this by a full run. It went from 8.5 down to 8 at 4:14 yesterday, and then 7.5 at 10 this morning. All right, I missed this move. Yes, the under makes sense, but I've missed it, and I'm going to move past this game. We get to the first Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day. He is backing the Cleveland Indians. The Cleveland Indians at minus 120 for spreadsheet love. Backing Zach Plesac against Daniel Lynch. The Indians 77-80, 37-39 on the road at Kansas City Royals, 72-85, 37-39 at home at Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri, 78 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 6 miles per hour sideways. Plesac 10-6. 4.54 ERA, 1.18 whip, 136 and 2/3, 98 Ks, 31 walks, 22 home runs. In his last start, he went 5 1/3, allowed 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 1 walk, 4 Ks, and a 5-3 win in a home 7-inning doubleheader versus the White Sox. Daniel Lynch on the other side, 4-6, 5.40 ERA, 1.57 whip, 65 innings, 53 Ks, 29 walks, 9 home runs. His last start was against these Indians, and they got to him. 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 walks, and 5 Ks. He's been much better on the road than he has been at home. Some issue he's got at Kauffman. 2-3, 6.67 ERA, 277 opponents batting average. Indians are hitting lefties hard, 258, 767 OPS, while the Royals aren't getting anything on righties. Both bullpens are pitching well. Let's take a look at the baseball data here. Against Plesac, 231, 714 OPS. He's been getting them out with a nice large sample size. Against Daniel Lynch, 194 with a 647 OPS. Lynch has this team's number, but he can't be trusted at home. And the volatility when you have Daniel Lynch on the mound is something that Pete was talking about yesterday with these young pitchers the Royals have in their rotation that are filled with potential. The volatility is ridiculous. We don't know if they're going to get touched for 5 runs in the first inning or throw 6 or 7 scoreless. The Indians open up at -110. That's where they stand right now. No movement at all. This total that was juiced to the under 9 is now juiced to the over 9. Let's see where the cash is in this spot. We have 1,639 tickets in. 48% of the tickets, 52% of cash on Cleveland. And then we only know tickets. There's only 1,639 tickets in, so we don't know the cash, but 70% of the tickets are on the under. Looks to be moving to the over. I do not want anything to do with this spot. Mark Schlingberg said Lynch started well, but hasn't been good as of late. I don't know what Lynch is going to do. I am surprised that there's not a market move towards the Cleveland Indians, but the tickets are split. So I'm going to stay off this spot. I just don't feel like I can really trust anything here. So I move on. R says easy pass over, maybe. Chris Brady says Mariners closing the cap with a big win last night. Mark Lathrop, a friend of the show, has been saying that the Mariners are going to win out. He's been saying it over and over again. And this is an interesting time to jump on a +100 at home tonight. And that is Jose Seje, play of the day. I'm looking forward to hear what he has to say about it. All right, let's move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Tampa Bay Rays at Houston Astros. This drove me crazy last night. And I asked Pete straight up, I was like, why are you taking the first 5 and not the full game when we know that the Rays have an advantage in the bullpen? And when I look back at it, that +125 is much more appealing than the +110. It was +125 for the first 5, and he cashed it easily. And Waka pitched great. It was so disturbing to not cash that +110. It was a huge turning point in my night. And I'm still feeling the effects of the anger. We get back to business here with Drew Rasmussen versus Luis Garcia. First, let's check out the roof here. I'm going to put this baseball data in here and check out the roof and these MLB blogs. And closed again. The roof is closed tonight. So it's probably closed in Texas too, even though it seems like a nice night in Texas. Drew Rasmussen going up against Luis Garcia. Rasmussen's been lights out with the Rays. 3-0, 2.67 ERA, 1.04 whip, 54 innings, 46 Ks, 13 walks, 3 home runs allowed. He's been so good. His last start at home versus the Blue Jays, he went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 3 Ks. Going up against Luis Garcia, who's looked very good. That last start was so sharp. He's come back off the IL. And he looks good. 11-7, 3.23 ERA, 1.15 whip, 115 in the third, 161 Ks, 48 walks, 17 home runs. Eric Jones says Cleveland 11-1 straight up when played as a 100-12 road favorite, coming off a 4-run win. Wow, Eric Jones, that's wild. Kev Riley says 1 Tampa first 5 lost full game going bottom 9. Tampa up 3-2 couldn't hold one of my 2 losers. It really drove me crazy. Oh, between 100 and -120. Okay, thank you, Eric. Wow, that's a great stat from Eric Jones. Cleveland 11-1 straight up when played as a -100 to -120 road favorite coming off a 4-run win. Wow. Bleds W looking at the first 5 under 4.5. That makes a lot of sense. Garcia looked so good last start. 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 1 K. At home, he's very good. 6-4, 2.19 ERA, 200 opponents batting average. On the road, 5-3, 4.24 ERA, 252 opponents batting average. Crystal Warren has an interesting point. Says Garcia has played some pretty awful teams lately. Rays versus righties last 30 days, 233, 740 OPS, not hitting them hard. Astros versus righties, 267, 776 OPS. There's JoJo Rich in the house. Great to see you, Jojo Rich. Thank you for hanging with us. Rays bullpen last 30 days, 4.27 ERA. Astros bullpen, 4.64 ERA. Let's take a look at what we are dealing with here. Why don't we start with baseball data? Only Marwin Gonzalez has seen Drew Rasmussen. Only Nelson Cruz has seen Luis Garcia. So there's a double spot there where the batters are not familiar with the pitchers. Astros opened up at minus 132. They're now minus 129. And this total's gone from 8.5 to 9. Why would it go from 8.5 to 9? Let's take a look at the cash in this spot. Why would it go from 8.5 to 9 with these two studs on the mound? Just 857 tickets in. 46% of the tickets, 98% of cash in this small sample size on the Astros, and it's moving towards the Rays. Then you have 44% of tickets on the under, 99% of cash on the under, and yet it's moving from 8.5 to 9. I mean, that's just – how does that make any sense? I'm going to go over to the first 5 market move here at BetOnline and see if I can take a closer look at it. So this actually opened at 9 at BetOnline full game and moved to 8.5. What has Pinnacle done with this? Pinnacle opened it the opposite, 8.5, and then moved it to 9. All right, well, let's go to the first 5. BetOnline, give me a line history here. And they opened it at 4.5 and lasted there for 30 minutes and moved up to 5. Is there going to be 6 runs in the first 5 innings here? That's just confounding. I mean, that just makes no sense with Rasmussen and Garcia on the mound. Clearly, I'm missing something. And because of that, I guess I've just got to stay off. What could I be missing? What could I be missing here? So I'm just going to leave the note for me. So the first 5 under 5, but why is it at 5? Moving to the over. All right. Topset says, I like the under. I get it. I'm just, when something doesn't make sense like this, like Chris Brady says, beware. Okay, let's move on. 9:45 p.m. Eastern. We have 3 more games before Nolly Knows joins us. We have Arizona Diamondbacks at San Francisco Giants. Diamondbacks are 15-106, 20-58 on the road. These Giants are 102-54, 49-26 at home. We're at Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. 62 Fahrenheit clear, 9 miles per hour out to straightaway center. Merle Kelly, 7-11, 4.59 ERA, 1.29 whip, 153 innings, 126 Ks, 37 walks, 21 home runs. In his last start, 6 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 walks, 7 Ks, and a 9-2 loss at home versus the Braves. He did not look good. At home, 4-4, 3.78 ERA, 244 opponent's batting average. Worth backing. On the road, he's been trashed. 3-7, 5.56 ERA, 298 opponent's batting average. Going up against Alex Wood, 10-4, 4 ERA, 1.21 whip, 146 Ks, and 132 2/3. In his last start, he goes 4 innings, lost 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, no walks, 7 Ks, and a 7-2 win at the Rockies. And he's been better at home than he's been on the road. The friendly confines of Oracle, 7-2, 3.86 ERA, 209 opponent's batting average. On the road, he's got a 4.20 ERA, 282 opponent's batting average. D-backs versus lefties, 243, 702 OPS over the last 30 days. And the Giants just continue to smash righties, 278, 854 OPS. The Giants bullpen being so good all year. Good again last 30, 2.81 ERA. Diamondbacks bullpen, 4.26 ERA. Mal, Giants, and over 8. Let's take a look at what the market has done in this spot here. San Francisco Giants. So the Giants opened up minus 260, then now minus 263. 3-cent move towards them. And this total has gone from 8.5 to 8, obviously expecting a nice pitching performance from Merle Kelly. Against Kelly, these Giants are hitting 313 with a 909 OPS. And against Alex Wood, 230 with a 677 OPS. And we have Kevin Riley on the Giants minus 1.5. That was one of our cashers last night. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this spot. Where are we? Here we go. 3,265 tickets in. 81% of the tickets, 83% of cash on the Giants. Then we have 51% of the tickets, 78% of cash on the over. Sam Comer says Giants team total over 4.5. Can't lay the run line with Wood. I think that's well put, Sam. I don't want to I don't want it either. And that team total is a possibility, but that full game over does also seem nice at 8. So Nutflush said wait for the lineups to come out. So I'm going to have a question mark beside that over 8, but it does seem to make sense. Kev Riley on the Giants -1.5 and -133. Gregorio Ruiz says parlay Giants and Dodgers all day. Let's talk about that Dodgers spot because it brings us to the next. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day. It is the Dodgers on the run line. Padres Dodgers, Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine, Los Angeles, California, 70 Fahrenheit clear, 5 miles per hour, sideways out to the right field pole. We have Ryan Weathers going up against Max Scherzer. Ryan Weathers was so bad, auto fade. They took him out of the starting rotation, and he's been coming in from the bullpen, and he's been pretty good. His last appearance, 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, wasn't earned, no walks, 3 Ks, 10 extra inning loss at home versus the Braves. On the year, he's been bad, 5.01 ERA, 1.34 whip, 70 Ks in 91 2/3. And he's been much better this year on the road than he has been at home. On the road, 2-2, 3.64 ERA, 230 opponents batting average, while at home, 2-5, 6.16 ERA, 311 opponents batting average. Going up against Maximus Scherzer, 15-4, 2.28 ERA, 0.83 whip, 174 innings, 232 Ks, 36 walks, 21 home runs. In his last start, 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 6 Ks, 7.5 extra inning win at Colorado. He'd been spectacular. He had an ERA under 1 until that start with the Dodgers. Padres versus righties last 30 days, 245, 718 OPS. Dodgers versus lefties, 277, 860 OPS. Padres bullpen 4.83 ERA over the last 30 days. Dodgers bullpen 2.33 ERA over the last 30 days. All right, let's take a look at baseball data here. It feels like a spot where Scherzer can bounce back. They hit 202 with a 646 OPS against them. But Ryan Weathers has completely shut down this Dodgers lineup. Look at that. 28 at-bats. They're 1 for 28 against them. 1 for 28 with a single. Wow. And Maxwell Smart in the house says Trey Turner over 1.5 bases, over a half single at -140. So over 1.5 bases at -110 and over a half single at -140 for Trey Turner. Mally Mal on the over 8. I'm going to pop Max's action in here right above Ron Crawford's. Thank you for sharing that with us, Maxwell Smart. God, I did not know that Weathers had those kind of numbers against these Dodgers. So the Dodgers sitting here at -296 are now -284, a 12-cent move. A 12-cent move, interestingly enough, towards the Padres. This total at 8, -107. It's now over 8 at -112, a 5-cent move towards the over. Then when we move to first fives, this first 5 at 4.5 at -110. The 4.5 was -116. A 6-cent move towards the over. Whoa. Why would that be? Why would that be? 1,324 tickets in, 88% of the tickets, 86% of cash on the Dodgers, 41% of the tickets on the over, 51% of cash on the over. Really? A coin flip on the over? Really? Ryan Weathers trying to earn a job for next season. This means so much to him. Really? I find that hard to believe. I find that very hard to believe. Ron Crawford going up. Ron Crawford. Look at Ron Crawford's note. Ryan Weathers going up against a team he's got great success with when he needs to pitch well to have a job next year in the rotation. Scherzer on a clear bounce back spot. Sharpie says Weathers is a joke. Spider Tack kid himself. Reason why he hasn't started in forever. Dodgers smash here. Dodgers have been hitting left-handed pitching way better than right-handed pitching, and it's Mad Max. Dodgers first 5 -1. Wow, Sharpie's such a good capper. No fear Sharpie has with those numbers against Ryan Weathers. I'm going to need more time to sit here, but we have both Maxwell Smart and Sharpie making moves. Sharpie is on the Dodgers first 5 -1 back from a successful trip in Las Vegas. Great work while you were out there, my man. There's DX Filer in the house. All right, we have one more game before we come bring on our special guest, Nolly Knows. And that game is Oakland Athletics at Seattle Mariners. It looks like the market is now moving towards the Mariners. We were waiting for this to happen because of their excellent play over the last little while. It's Frankie Montas going up against Logan Gilbert, and it is also the say hey play of the day from our very angry producer, Jose Bouquet. Jose, welcome back onto the show. How are you? I know you're upset, and I love it.
That's how I am. Just a big sigh.
Okay. All right. Well, Frankie Montas versus Logan Gilbert, and Jose still in the black on this show, for which I'm very proud of him. 41-41 average line. So he's up 2.09 units, ROI plus 2.55%, and his average line is plus 103. There's Allison joining us. Mally Mal says it's A's today. And E says it's Scherzer. Don't overthink it, coming from a Nationals fan. Okay. And Jake Burns says anytime Sharpie's in on the Dodgers, that's just, what kind of sample size are you talking, Jake? Come on. Uncle Oliver says full game under Dodgers money line or stay away because it's a very important game. Jose, Frankie Montas going up against Logan Gilbert. Montas being very good of late. On the year, 13-9, 3.48 ERA, 1.19 whip, 200 Ks and 181 innings. Last start, 14-2 win at home versus the Astros. 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, just one of which was earned. 1 homers, 3 walks, 8 Ks. Logan Gilbert has turned his season around a little bit over the last little while, but he is an expected staple of this rotation as they move forward. 6-5, 4.83 ERA, but 1.19 whip. Interestingly enough, the same whip that Frankie Montas has. 124 Ks and 113 and 2/3 innings. Just 26 walks Gilbert has allowed. Just 26 walks. His last start, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 walks, 4 Ks, a 6-5 win at the Angels. A's versus righties, 262, 739 OPS. Mariners versus righties last 30 days, 235, 707 OPS. A's bullpen 5.82 ERA over the last 30 days. Mariners bullpen 3.89 ERA over the last 30 days. Here we go. Say hey, play of the day. Jose Bouquet, take it away.
So I'm still sorry. I'm a little shocked still that last night happened.
Sure.
I'm going with the Mariners today. Obviously, they're America's team. They're the team that everyone's kind of rooting for to make the playoffs. And in my ideal scenario now, the Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays are playing in the wild card game, ideally. So I was pretty shocked to see it at an even line with these teams. I mean, the A's are dead already. I do understand, one thing I haven't heard you mention yet is that this is, we're at the end of the season. Pitchers are pitching their last start of the year. They want to go out on a high note. That's just kind of human nature. They want to give it all. They want to give it their best shot here. And I have trouble betting on the teams that don't have anything to play for. I think that motivation factor matters a ton. And I'm just going to take out Logan Gilbert from this because, like you said, he hasn't been great this year. So I'm going to go ahead and just take the Mariners team total over 3.5 at -105 on Pinnacle currently. Frankie Montas against these guys, he dominates Kyle Seager, which Kyle Seager needs to figure it out against him. 17 at bat, 8 Ks, 2 hits, 1 double. But JP Crawford, 4 hits again in 14 at bats. Mitch Haniger, 4 hits and 12 at bats, a home run. I think he has a nice day. So if I was doing a jack of the day, like I will be actually later today on MLB closing time at 3, plug. Mitch Haniger might be on there too. So give me the Mariners team total over 3.5. I like all 9 innings, especially too. Only 4 runs, -105, and a team that needs to win this game just as bad as all these other playoff teams. And they're right there now. Like that win last night and the Red Sox losing and the Blue Jays losing was really nice for them. So they're right there. They want it bad. -105 isn't a cheap price.
And what is the juice with the Mariners team total over 3.5?
-105. I said it is a cheap price just now, but it is a cheap price. Sorry.
Interesting. Yeah, -115. You're getting -105. Eric Thomas, that Jays Yankees game is a huge game. We have Nolly Knows jumping on the show to talk about that with us. And Nutflush Allen says, sorry, Jimmy had to step out. The team total is too high at -140 and don't like the run line at -130. So options tonight, and this is for the Giants, full game over. If you want a good score, or San Francisco moneyline parlay with the over. Henry Dice says, that's a good bet, Jose. Kevin Riley says, I like it. That bet does make a ton of sense. I think that Logan Gilbert is capable of having a nice start here. He's got good numbers against these A's. Against them, they're hitting 219 with a 672 OPS. I understand why the market has moved towards this A's team. It just seems to battle. And, I can understand the A's first five backing Montas as well. And if that is the case, then wouldn't this first five under maybe be in play as well? But that's, the full game's already gone from 8 to 7.5, and the first five is still sitting at 4, just juiced now. I think this could go down as a first 5 under as well. Uncle Oliver says, conch salad parlay, Braves, Rays, and Blue Jays. Okay, Jose, I think your team total makes a ton of sense. I think that the Mariners to keep rolling makes sense. And I think this first 5 under 4 also makes sense. It was plus 100. Let's just go over the cash here on this last game before we bring in Nolly Knows. 76% of the tickets, 87% of the cash on the Mariners, and we see a slight move towards them, 10 cents. 50-50 on the total and 54% of tickets on the over, and it's gone towards the under. Yeah. All right, I think that makes a ton of sense. Either taking Mariners full game or rolling with you on the Mariners team total over 3.5. Jose Bouquet. I know the Red Sox.
Are you going to roll with me?
Sorry?
Are you going to roll with me?
I think I'm going to correlate action with you.
No. Don't fucking give me that, Jimmy. No.
Okay. All right, there we go. Next up, we have a special guest, and he's now becoming a regular on the show, and we absolutely love having him. So please welcome to the show, the Jedi Master of Unders, the man making unders great again. Please welcome to the show, Nolly Knows in the house. Nolly, how are you?
Doing really well, Jimmy. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody. Hey, great time to be a baseball fan right now. Got a lot of races, a lot of things coming down to the wire. Got some college football, NFL. I'm excited to be a bettor right now, so hopefully we can get you some action going.
Well, let's get right to work. I'm coming off a day that was as aggravating as any day because the capping was solid. It was the betting that was poor and some bad bounces against me. So I was hesitant to do anything before the show started. And I was even hesitant giving out picks early in the year. And we had that 7-show streak that ended on Friday where I picked up 13 units in MLB. And since then, I've given back 6 units in the last 2 shows, and I'm not happy about it. Let's get to work. Nolly Knows. Great to have you on this show. We start 3:10 p.m. Eastern. This game pops off in 3 hours. Washington Nationals at Colorado Rockies. We're at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. 71 Fahrenheit clear, 9 miles per hour in. Paulo Espino going up against Peter Lambert. Espino 5-5, 4.01 ERA, 1.19 WHIP, 92 Ks and 107 2/3. His last start at the Reds wasn't very good, and it wasn't bad. 5 hits in 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, no walks, 2 Ks. He bent but didn't break, but he's been not nearly as good on the road as he has been at home. 1-0 with a 5.23 ERA, 264 points batting average on the road. Going up against the 24-year-old Lambert, second-round pick in 2015 out of San Dimas High School in California, returning from Tommy John surgery in 2020. He was brought up to the majors way too early in 2019, and he got absolutely rocked. In his first start back, he went 3 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 homers, 1 walk, and 2 Ks. In his first appearance back in the show. It wasn't great. Nats are hitting righties hard, 253, 782 OPS. Rockies versus righties, 232, 710 OPS. And the Rockies bullpen's been much better than the Nats bullpen. This Nats bullpen has almost been as bad as the Orioles bullpen over the last 30 days. All right, Nolly Knows, your first game on the card, the afternoon action that we all want to have. This total opened up at – the first 5 opened up at 7. It's now at 6.5. This full game run line – money line and total. This total opened up at 12.5. It's dropped to 12. And Washington opened up as a favorite at -110. Now the Rockies are lukewarm favorites at -106. Nolly Knows. Afternoon action. Take it away.
Yeah, interesting you talk about that line movement. I wasn't really aware of that, but you guys pretty much know where I'm headed here. The Rockies, I talk about it. I mentioned it in the chat time and time again. Take that misconception of overs at Coors Field out of your brain, because that's simply not what's happening. The Rockies, very profitable to the under this year, now hitting at 57.3% and have hit 5 straight unders, all at Coors Field. 8 of the last 10 of their games have stayed under the total. 8 of those coming at Coors Field. They're averaging 3.5 runs per game in the last 10. But one of those was a 10-run outing. You take away that game. So 9 games, they average 2.7 runs. They're having a tough time creating runs over there for the Colorado Rockies. Seems like they pretty much calling it a season. Here they throw out Peter Lambert, a guy that spent 2 years trying to recover off Tommy John surgery. I like the feel-good stories, and this guy's pitching for his career. Probably last time you're going to see him here this year. Last time out was a decent start, a short outing, gave up a couple home runs, faced a tough lineup in the San Francisco Giants. But hey, gave some signs that were promising. Bud Black talked about it. His stuff looked good. Just made a couple mistakes with the fastball. They were able to get to it. That's just what happened, On the other side, we got Espino. I called him Pablo last time. Paolo Espino. He had a good game against the Rockies. Just recently on September 19th, goes 5 2/3, 3 hits, 0 runs, 7 strikeouts. So he's not really a super dominant guy, but this will be his last time out. I expect him to come in here and throw hard. He's pitching for his career as well. He's on the complete other side of it than Peter Lambert. But here, I look at these two teams and the way that they're playing. The Nationals have been hitting a lot better. They've been hitting the righties a lot harder. They're hitting righties really hard right now. But when I look at the total, I think they've overinflated it. I was able to grab a first 5 under 7, but I still fully endorse it at the 6.5. I'm riding this under train right now.
And I like that you're staying away from the bullpens here, even though the Rockies bullpen is being pretty good. Let's take a look at the batter versus pitcher here in an afternoon action at Coors against Espino, 158 with a 483 OPS. Wow. And Soto's the only one who's seen Lambert, but he's gone 0 for 3 against him. Michael O'Brien says, Nolly, quick thought on Dodgers. I'll ask him once he's done once we broke down these 4 games. So I'll remember that, Michael O'Brien. And if I seem to forget, just bring that up again. This makes sense to me. When we move over to the cash flow in this game, we have, pull this up here, 3,530 tickets in, not as much as you'd expect for an afternoon game. We have 53% of the tickets on the Rockies and 43% of the cash on the Rockies. Then we have 57% of tickets on the over and 85% of cash on the over, and yet it's dropping from 12.5 down to 12. This 6.5 does seem vulnerable. Great job getting the 7. Let's just also see when did it move to 7. Let's go over to Bet Online. Bet Online's still hanging at 12.5 full game. 13 runs in this game? Really? So first 5 total. Moved at 10:47 a.m. God, I should have realized. And you know what? This under's getting pounded. This under's now at 6.5 at minus 122. Very, very good work beating this market move. Let's just see what it is at my book right now very quickly. The first 5 is at under 6.5 minus 115. Wow. Okay, great stuff. Nolly's on the board here. First 5 under 7. What was the juice associated with your under 7?
I got minus 110 on that one.
Minus 110. Great job. I feel like I don't want to chase here, and I'm not going to chase here. The fact that 8 runs have to score in the first 5 for you to lose is a really nice position you're in, and I'm just hesitant to chase a 6.5 with more juice associated. But great work. Okay, Nolly is on the board. Next up, big game up here. New York Yankees at Toronto Blue Jays. Rogers Center, Toronto, Ontario. The roof is expected to be closed. Garrett Cole going up against Jose Barrios. Cole 16-8, 3.08 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, 175 in the third, 237 Ks, 41 walks. His last start at the Red Sox, he was good. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 walks, 6 Ks, and 8-3 win. Jose Barrios, 12-9, 3.48 ERA, 1.08 WHIP. That is combined with the Twins and the Jays. Last start, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 10 Ks, and a 3-1 loss at the Twins. But he pitched well. It was back-to-back starts against the Twins. He's looking good. Both these teams are smashing righties right now. Yankees versus righties last 30 days, 241, 783 OPS. Blue Jays versus righties last 30 days, 262, 836 OPS. And both bullpens have been struggling. Yankees bullpen 4.10 ERA over the last 30. Blue Jays bullpen 4.26 ERA over the last 30. Let's set this table for Nolly Knows. Big game up here in the 6. This total opened up at 8.5. It's now 8. Yankees opened up at -113, now -106. A 7-cent move towards the Toronto Blue Jays. Nolly Knows. Take it away.
Yeah, you mentioned it right there, Jimmy. Huge game. You know, you talk about in Toronto, they're expanded capacity. They're having some standing room only. That's how big this game is. If you watch the game was electric. You know, I was watching the game and just can't help but try to pull for the Blue Jays the way I felt. The crowd had me moved, you know. But here, tough game here against going against Garrett Cole and the Yankees. Garrett Cole, I talked about it last time. Show, you know, baseball, this guy shows up.
We got you a little.
Again, you know.
Okay, you're back. You're rolling. Can you back up 10 seconds? And we just had some sound issues.
Okay.
You're good. So yeah.
Talk about the Blue Jays. Talk about the Blue Jays. The big environment, but they got a tough task going against Garrett Cole right here. You know, Garrett Cole, he loves the playoff environment. He's ready to go to war. I mentioned it last time out. 3 out of the 4 starts against Toronto are pretty solid. 2 games in Toronto, you know, 8 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run. So he's done pretty well against them. On the other side, you got Berrios. I had to say that because my mom probably kicked my – you know, but in the month of September, Berrios has looked pretty good. 3.27 ERA, 35 strikeouts in 33 innings, 6 straight quality starts. The guy has come over and pitched extremely well when he had a lot of doubters, Jimmy. And he looked good at the Yankees on September 9th, 6 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts. You know, and these Blue Jays really been trending to the under. 8-1-1 to the under the last 10. Averaging just 3.1 runs per game in that span. And they've been an under team throughout the season, hitting at 56%. And after a loss, the Blue Jays, 59% to the under. Yankees, after a win, 59.5% to the under. This is an under spot for me when you talk about just playoff-type atmosphere. I'm on the first 5 under 4.5.
Great job at getting that 4.5. That's moved to 4 now.
Oh, man.
Nolly Knows. First 5 under 4.5. Let's see when this one moved from 4.5 to 4. We'll move over to BetOnline's movement. Go over to the total. So BetOnline opened this at 4 actually at 7:41 in the morning. Then it went up to 4.5 and back to 4. Interesting. Let's see what can Bet365 share this with us. Yes. So Bet365 opened it at 4. At 9:50 a.m. The under 4 was at plus 105. It's gone to plus 100. Now it's gone to minus 105. What was the juice you got on the 4.5?
I got minus 115.
Minus 115 on the under 4.5.
Yeah, I got Bovada. Bovada has those lines out. Bovada and what's that other one? Pinnacle.
Yeah, they both do great jobs with getting the first 5s out early. Let's take a look at the cash flow. 4,779 tickets in. 73% of the tickets, 83% of the cash on the Yankees. Interesting. Let's move back to full game here and see what that market has done. And we have that 7-cent move towards the Jays with the money coming in on the Yankees. Huh. Very, very, very interesting. And then we have 50% of the tickets, 96% of the cash on the over. I guess expecting to smash these bullpens. Wow. Okay. It's a great job you got the 4.5. That was very, very well done. And I don't know what to do with this exactly. Let's just go back to the baseball data quickly here. Against Berrios, 243, 709 OPS, and against Cole, 212, 617 OPS. It does feel like Cole's ready to fight here. All right, I'm going to need more time to sit with this. Razors asked Nolly if he has anything to say, not MLB related. Okay, don't worry. We're going to talk other sports. Okay, next up, 7:20 p.m. Eastern, and we have 2 more spots for Nolly Knows. We also reach the first Taint play of the day. Taint coming off a 2-in-1 day, hit both sides and totals. There was the first 5 over 4.5 in the Cubbies game, and then the full game under 7.5 in the Phillies game. They both cashed, but Vladdy Guerrero did not come through for Taint, and Taint is not pleased, but ready to fire again. So Taint gets on the board with the Philadelphia Atlanta full game under 8. Full game under 8. Phillies, Braves, Truist Park, Atlanta, Georgia, 79 Fahrenheit, clear, 5 miles per hour to left center. We have Aaron Nola, who's been a spectacular road fave, and apologies for my son, reaching, demanding titty in the background. Aaron Nola, 9-8, 4.64 ERA, 1.12 WHIP, 174 and 2/3, 219 Ks, 37 walks. In his last start, 6 innings, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 homers, 1 walk, 8 Ks, and they still won 12-6 at home versus the Pirates. So his home numbers in the splits are getting worse. 5-3, 3.86 ERA, 223 opponents batting average. I have not been fading Nola enough on the road because I have this fear that he's capable of stepping up at any moment. And the one time I fade him on the road will be in a big game situation like the spot against Atlanta, where he steps up in a big way, makes me nervous. Going up against Max Fried, who's coming off 9-inning shutout, 3 hits, no walks, 4 Ks, 4-0 win at the Pirates. He's been very good of late. 3.12 ERA, 1.11 WHIP on the year. Phillies aren't hitting lefties. 240, 728 OPS over the last 30 days. Braves are hitting righties. 255, 784 OPS. Phillies bullpen being bad all year long. Braves bullpen being very good over the last 2 months. Over the last 30 days, they have a 2.85 ERA. All right, let's set this table up for Nolly, knowing that Taint is on the full game under. That under was originally juiced to the under at -111 at Pinnacle. It's now juiced to the over at -108. And the Braves have gone from -130 to -139, a 9-cent move in their direction. Nolly Knows, big game here. Phillies, Braves, take it away.
Oh, another huge game. You talk about the Braves magic numbers sitting at 3. They're 3.5 games up. So this is pretty much do or die for the Philadelphia Phillies. How do they respond? Well, they haven't responded really well lately. You look at the amount of runs. The Phillies have scored 3 or fewer in the last 9 games. Really haven't been able to produce much of anything. And here, they're going to have a really tough time against Max Fried, who, the guy's been lights out for the last 2 months. Month of August, 1.36 ERA. Month of September, 1.59 ERA. Comes off a complete game shutout. Gives up 3 hits against the San Diego Padres, looked extremely good in that. And yeah, he throws up 90-something pitches. But if you look over the last 2 months, when he goes over 100 in the 99s, he comes back and still dominates. It doesn't seem to faze him. He does have a little bit of trouble against a couple guys. Real Muto and Harper hit him extremely well. Real Muto, 10-23, good for a 435 batting average, 3 home runs, 2 doubles, and a triple. Harper hits him well, hitting 412 against him, 7 for 12, 2 home runs and a double. So those are 2 guys you got to watch out for. But the way he's pitching right now, he knows this is the guy you want with the ball. If you're an Atlanta Braves fan, this is the guy you want with the ball here today. And you talk about Aaron Nola, yeah, he's had some difficulties. But I understand your reluctance to fade him because you look at his FIP. His FIP is at a 3.38, much lower than his ERA. That ranks 10th amongst qualified National League pitchers. His hard hit rate is 37.4%. That's actually lower than his last 2 seasons. His big problem is just putting hitters away. He's got 2 strikes, been his big issue. He's given up 76 2-strike hits, tied for the second most in Major League Baseball. So that's a big concern when you look at it. But the guy's got the stuff. And his last start against Atlanta went 8 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 9 strikeouts. So this is a big game. I like it. I talked about the inability for the Phillies to score runs. They were in a 20-inning scoreless streak until they scored an unearned run in the 9th last night. So offense really struggling. I love to see it. I love playoff baseball. You talk about weather over there in Atlanta, little humidity. That's what you want to see. Humidity lets the ball fly. So I'm on the first 5 under 4 in this game.
First 5 under 4. And is it the Phillies bullpen is your reluctance to go full game?
Yeah, and then not just that, Will Smith's gone 3 straight games already, so who's going to be closing it out for this Atlanta Braves? They'll be using the same guys every day. Even the Braves bullpen, they can't be perfect every day.
Interesting breakdown. Let's take a look at this first 5 a little closer. So we know that the full game has gone from juice to the under to juice to the over. Let's move back to the first 5 and get a closer look here. 4.5 at Sports Interaction. Interesting. The 4 is moved to -120 at U-Wager and Heritage. It's -125 at Bodog. But Pinnacle's moved back 5 cents towards the under. Wow. Why would Sports Interaction? Let's just take a look at when Sports Interaction. Oh, Sports Interaction opened this at 4.5. Jeez, that's a nice number at Sports Interaction. Matty Ice says Nolly and Taint correlates. Marcelo says I'm looking at the under. Also Ski. And after the discussion about the bullpen, the first 5 under 4 does seem to make sense here. And this is Nolly's look. Nolly, what juice did you get?
On that one, I got 105.
-105. All right, I'm going to tail this first 5 under 4 in Philadelphia, Atlanta. We move on to 7:40 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Tigers at Minnesota Twins. Tigers at Twins. And I should note that there was 3,808 tickets in on this game, and 78% of the tickets, 88% of the cash is on Atlanta. Then you have 42% of tickets on the over and 66% of cash on the over in that Philly-Atlanta game. And what was the market move? Sorry, just one last time. I know we moved on, and Jose's perfect with the graphics, but I got to just take one last look at this. 9-cent move towards the Braves, but don't have Will Smith available. I get it. I get to sticking with that. Okay.
Oh, he'll be available, but he's already pitched 3 in a row. So he's ready to go. The guy, he's electric, but he had some struggles yesterday, and it's hard to keep pitching every day.
No, I feel you. I feel you. We move on to Detroit Tigers at Minnesota Twins, and we have the second taint play of the day from our Matty Ice. And it is the first 5 under 5 with Casey Mize going up against Michael Pineda. Target Field, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Casey Mize, 7-8, 3.63 ERA, 1.1 through whip, 146 in the third, 114 Ks, 41 walks. In his last start, like all the previous starts, he's only going 3 innings. They've got a pitch. They're an inning limit on him right now. 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, and a 3-1 loss at home versus the Royals. Thankfully, this Tigers bullpen's been very good. Last 30 days, 3.24 ERA. Going up against Michael Pineda, 8-8, 3.73 ERA, 1.23 whip on the season. His last start was a 7-2 win at home versus the Jays. He saw the Jays back-to-back games, and he looked quite good. 5 innings, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 2 Ks, bent but didn't break. Tigers versus righties, they're not hitting them. 241, 724 OPS, and that's even better than the Twins versus righties, who only have a 695 OPS against them. Interesting. Mike M says, love Detroit when the public is off them and they are a dog. Mike M says, Detroit, great no-run first inning spot. Rem Mo says, I like the under in Detroit, Minnesota. And Michael Buena is on the Tigers run line. So here we go. Let's set this table for Nolly in Detroit, Minnesota. This total opened up at 9. There's been no movement on the total at all. It was juiced to -106 each way. It still is. And a 21-cent move towards the Minnesota Twins. Very interesting. Nolly knows. Tigers, Twins, take it away.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm really excited about this game. I got a little bit of crazy on this game, but hey, sometimes you got to do it. Here you got talked about Casey Mize only going those 3 innings, maybe last start of the year here. But he's looked solid going in those 3 innings. Last 2 times, giving up one run, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 hits. And I'll take that over the course of 3 innings. The bullpen comes in, only has to give me 2 innings, and they already know who's coming in. They already know what the situation is, and I like that. So Casey Mize has looked good. He's got the stuff against Minnesota 2 times this year. He's looked pretty good. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run. And I expect him to continue to pitch well. For the main reason, this Minnesota team, really trending to the under right now, and even at home, which is not really what's indicative of what's happened throughout the year. This is actually an over team. They're profitable to the over, 56.7% to the over, but not recently. 5 straight games to the under, all at home. 7 of the last 9 have stayed under the total. So like I mentioned, the team is really trending towards the under. Miguel Pineda, on the last year of his contract here, looking to pitch for his career, and those are the things that I look for. He looked good against Detroit. He's looked good here in the month of September with a 1.93 ERA in 4 games started. A crafty guy, not a guy that's going to dominate right now, but he's getting the job done, and I love to see it here. Against the Detroit batters, just giving up a 217 batting average, 25 hits and 94 at bats. So he's fared well against them. And this is a Detroit Tiger team that's been an under team, more so because of Comerica, but they're still an under team at 56.3%. I tripled up in this one. I went a little crazy. So I took the no score first inning. I took the first 5 under 5, and I took the full game under 9.
Wow. No score first inning. No run first inning. First 5. Did you get first 5 under 5? What was the juice?
Minus 110.
Minus 110. And full game under 9. Was that minus 110 too?
Yes.
Full game under 9 and minus 110. And what was the no run first inning?
Oh, that one's like minus 120, I think. I didn't write that one down.
Nolly.
I'd have to look that one up.
This all makes sense to me. Your looks all make sense. It's all good about looking that up. We got lots of work to do here anyway, so we're good. All makes sense to me. Mandy Ice says both of those are on my card too. Eric Jones on Detroit money line plus 155 and the under 9. This Twins bullpen's been excellent in the last 30 days, 2.72 ERA. All of this makes sense. Let's take a look at the cash flow here and the baseball data. Against Mize, they're hitting 230 with a 715 OPS. Against Pineda, 266, 711 OPS. So no red flags or anything to worry about there. And then we move on to the cash flow. 2,181 tickets in. 60% of the tickets, 34% of the cash on the Tigers. Very interesting. Very interesting. So it isn't as the public is not off them. That's what I assume too with the move towards the Twins. But then we have 57% of the tickets on the over and 52% of cash on the over. Chris Brady says Nolly is greatness. And Matty I says 9-2 on any plays posted on the show that involve his Tigers. Wow. I'm going to tail that first 5 under 5. But I get why you doubled up on this spot. I completely get why you did, because these bullpens are pitching very well right now. You have 8 mile per hour in at Target Field. I get it.
Yeah, that's something I forgot to mention. I wrote that down, and I mentioned it, the bats as well. The guys are just not producing right now, not playing for a whole lot. Let's get this game over with.
And I cashed on this under very easily yesterday. There's Gerardo Hernandez in the house. Okay, there you have it. Let's review all action, and then we'll close up with Nolly's action here. Let's go. By the way, the Birdy's Bird Nest Builder NHL parlay of the day that cashed yesterday, plus 581. The first installment is Wings money line, Devils money line, Blues money line at plus 852. And I will track the Birdy's Bird Nest Builder NHL parlay for the season. Here we go. The first 5 under 4.5 is an interesting look in Cubs Pirates. Nolly, I'm going to ask a couple questions as we go through, and I don't know how much. I'm sure that you have hammered all these games, so I'm not going to have any fear asking you about. But this 21-year-old fireballer Roansy Contreras, your expectations of his first career start?
Oh, I love backing the youngsters. That's something that I love to do. Just the way that game wasn't posted overnight, so I wasn't really able to jump on anything. But I expect him to come out and do his thing. The fact that the Cubs haven't seen him, not a lot of pressure on the kid. Those are things I like to see. Hendricks on the road, though, that I don't like. So I'd have to dig in a little bit more, but those are my initial thoughts.
All right, and the blue balls play today is the over 8.5 in that game. But I would only be moving on the first 5. I do not want anything to do with either bullpen, even though Pirates bullpen's being a little better. Red Sox Orioles, there is no play. The first 5 over 4, I'm interested in Marlins Mets. Hernandez, Taiwan Walker. Walker has not looked very good lately, but he's been much better at home. And Eliza Hernandez has let me down over the last month. But look, the total feels like it's moving towards the under, and I'm hesitant to move on it. You have any feelings on Eliza in Taiwan?
Yeah, that's a game that initially wanted to take. You talk about Citi Field, a big under stadium field that I've been cashing a lot of unders, but just the Mets not playing for a whole lot. How does Taiwan Walker step up in this moment? And you talk about the other side, Hernandez has been getting hit a little bit recently. So I think there's other games that were a little bit better, appealed to me a little bit more than this game. But I was kind of thinking of leaning towards the over, though.
Yeah, so am I. So am I. ML liking the over. There's Bebsy in the house. Rob Bebenek, our NFL expert, here with a great show last night. Great to see you, Bebsy. All right. Next up is the Hauser Michaelis start. Do you feel that there could be some lackadaisical nature between the Brewers and the Cards after the Cards clinched yesterday? And you have Michaelis, who needs to get rolling before the playoffs start. He's coming off his best start of the year at the Brewers. And then you have Hauser, who's always seems to pitch well against these Cardinals.
Yeah, the reason I didn't want to get involved in the game, because you talked about it, these guys aren't really playing for a whole lot. What bullpen guys are they going to be calling in? Or, so it's not a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong. These guys still need to get working. They still need to stay sharp, especially when we talk about pitchers. But how involved are they going to be in the game? That's, I keep talking about it. That's why I go to the other games that mean something.
And Taylor Hearn is a pitcher that you like, and I do too. And he's going up against an Angels team that's not hitting. And I'm close to doubling up on the Rangers' first 5 full game against Jansen Junk. Your feelings on Taylor Hearn moving forward?
Yeah, another spot that I was kind of leaning towards the under, Junk being the one issue there, but Rangers don't really produce a whole lot offensively. And Hearn, I like what I've seen out of him. I expect him to pitch well. Angels pretty much wrapped it up. They're not producing right now. So that game, more than a side, I lean towards the under. Might be jumping on that one.
And I'm close to moving on, double up on Hearn. Double up on the Rangers, it makes me physically ill saying that. Like, I legitimately just had Reds, White Sox. Then we have Indians, Royals. And this is Cleveland minus 120 is the spreadsheet play today, number 1. Then the first 5 under 5. Why is this first 5 at 5 with Rasmussen going up against Luis Garcia? It's perplexing, and it makes me not want to bet it.
Yeah, that was tough because, I was looking at Houston as a side there, but I didn't really look in that one at all, Jimmy. So I don't got much on that one. Sorry.
No worries. And then Diamondbacks, Merrill Kelly versus Alex Wood, the over 8 may be the look from our resident San Francisco Giant expert, Nut Flush Allen. Then we have Sharpie on the Dodgers, first 5 -1. Maxwell Smart on Trey Turner over 1.5 bases and the over half singles. Ron Crawford on the LA Dodgers minus 1.5. What are your thoughts of Weathers and Scherzer in this big spot for the Dodgers?
Weathers hasn't looked that great recently, but he's had some really good starts against the Dodgers. He seemed to completely shut us down. You looked at it yesterday. Dodgers really inability to produce runs, only put up a 2 spot yesterday. So I lean towards the under. You look at Max Scherzer, he's been lights out since coming over here. You talk about Dodger Stadium this time of year, you're looking towards the unders in that ballpark. The ball does not fly. So I'm looking at the under, another game that didn't have an overnight line, so I wasn't able to jump on, but a game that I am interested in.
And then Mariners team total over 3.5 is Jose's say-hey play today. And I'm interested in the Mariners full game and that first 5 under 4 with Montas and Gilbert. Nolly starts his card with the first 5 under 7 with Nationals Rockies. It's at 6.5, and it's juiced more at the 6.5 than it was when Nolly bet the 7. And it goes to show you Nolly attacking the cards on overnight lines and how it works for him. First 5 under 4.5 is the next spot for Nolly in the Yankees Blue Jays game. 4.5 minus 115. That's moved down to 4. And Mike M is loving what he's seeing with the line movement right now. And he's on Toronto. First 5 plus a half and a full game smasher for Mike M. And then Matty Ice Taint play the day. Detroit, Minnesota, first 5 under 5. With Philly, Atlanta's the next one, under 8. Nolly Knows moved on the first 5 under 4, -105. I will be tailing that. And then Nolly Knows all over this Tigers-Twins game. No run first inning, first 5 under 5, full game under 9. Taint play today. 2 is the Detroit, Minnesota, first 5 under 5, and I'm tailing that first 5 under 5. All right, there you have it. That was our MLB action, and we move on to college football. And we have 2 games that Nolly Knows has picked out for breakdowns, and they're both very, very interesting. We start at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. Let me get this all up, and it is the Syracuse Orange, fresh off their huge last-second win over Liberty at home at the Carrier Dome, going on the road and facing a Florida State Seminoles team that's falling apart. 0-4, 0-2 in the ACC. We're in Tallahassee, Florida for this one. Let's move over to money lines and totals, and then let's take a look at where the cash is in this game, because we know that it is a big one down in Florida State where the knives are out. The knives are out. I'm going to have to find the cash flow here. Get this. Here we go. Sorry, it took a second to come up. Let's go. All right, waiting for these. God damn it, my computer acting slow. Too many pages open. I will break down the market movement here shortly, and here I can do it now finally. So this game pops off at 3:30. Syracuse at Florida State. 3:30 p.m. Show me before I lose my shit here. There we go. This total opened up at 52. It's now down to 51. And Florida State opening up as 4.5-point favorites. There's been no movement at all in the spot. Nolly Knows your first college football game on the card this week. Syracuse, Florida State. Take it away.
Yeah, talk about Syracuse. We were on that game last time against Liberty. We were able to cash that under. We talked about the linebackers, and they did their job. Sideline to sideline, they got number 2, number 3. Don't know names, but that's what we're going with. Guys, really good. They penetrate really well. They recorded 6 sacks against Liberty last week, and but still, their offense still didn't look all that great. They ended up going with Schrader. He only throws 15 passes, 6 of 15 for 77 yards. And actually ran the ball more, 16 rushes for 53 yards and 2 touchdowns. They were actually outgained in that game, 369 to 305 yards. Inability to really convert on third down. We're 4 of 13 in that game. So you look at Syracuse offense, still hasn't really figured it out. And a team that really is a really slower team, 96th in the nation with 66 plays per game. A team that's 3-1 to the under here, trending to the way I like it. And that's where I'll be looking here once again against Florida State. Florida State, they ended up going with Mackenzie Milton, and Milton ranks 107th in pass efficiency here this year. Florida State having issues up front, allowing 6 sacks against Louisville, a team not been able to produce very much offensively against some of this talent. You look, against Notre Dame, they were able to produce 38, but really a weird game. You look at the other games against Jacksonville State, an FCS team only able to produce 17 points, 14 against Wake, and 23 against Louisville. And all 3 of those games staying under the total by quite a bit, and here I'm looking at the totals perspective, and that's where I look once again. The total sitting right around 51, but I also look at the Florida State team total. I see a 28.5, and I really just don't see that happening. Florida State team that hasn't allowed that all year. They didn't allow Liberty to do that, and I don't think Florida State's going to have the ability to do that either. So I took the team total under 28.5. I got -120 though, but I like it.
Florida State team total under 28.5 in Syracuse, Florida State. We have people on either side right now. Real Jolly Roger talking about Syracuse always playing better at home than they do away. Uncle Oliver's on first half Florida State and the over. Ryan Taylor's on the on Florida State under 4.5. We got DJ Big Boss in the house as well. Great to see you, DJ Big Boss. From a cash flow perspective, we don't have a lot of tickets in yet. Just 970 tickets in. But 84% of the tickets are on Syracuse and just 49% of the cash. Leads me to believe that it's a bounce back spot for Florida State at home against a Syracuse team that doesn't travel well. I will need to look into it more. 47% of tickets on the over and 96% of cash in the over, but it's moved down a point, making the over more appealing to bettors, which is tricky. And our man Nolly Knows, focusing on the Florida State under 28.5 as his action. Great breakdown, Nolly. Thank you for that. We move on to 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and that takes us to Air Force against New Mexico Lobos. Air Force Falcons 3-1, 0-1 in the Mountain West. New Mexico Lobos 2-2, 0-0 in the Mountain West. We're at Dream Style Stadium in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Air Force here opening up. Let's pull this up here with their market move. 1 second. Here we go. Opening up as 10-point favorites. Let's move to 10.5. This total opened up at 48.5 and is being bet all the way down to 46. Some books are carrying 45s, others at 45.5. And New Mexico coming off a 2013 loss at UTEP, which was following a 34-0 loss at number 7 Texas, or then number 7 Texas A&M. So they have scored 13 points in their last 2 games. Let's take a look at the cash flow because we have some tickets in on this game, just 617, and it's based on the total, which is interesting. It's another spot with reverse movement because there's 88% of tickets, 91% cash on the over, and yet this under is being hammered. Here we go. Air Force, Falcons, New Mexico Lobos. Nolly Knows, take it away.
Trying hard on that one, huh, Jimmy? All right. New Mexico Lobos here. This is a team I'm focusing on right now, a team that's really haven't been able to produce offensively, ranked 100th in like almost every offensive category, 106th in first downs. They're 110th in third down conversion rate, but a team that ranks 27th in turnovers, just 3 turnovers on the year. So that's a good sign for me when I look at we don't want turnovers to give points right away. It's an Air Force team that I think is significantly better here than New Mexico. They run the triple option. But Rocky Long is no rookie here. You know, a great defensive coach here. He talks about, I watched a video. He talks about the power option. He talks about the veer option, and he talks about there being 6 other different variations. So a guy that's very familiar with it. But how ready is he going to be able to get New Mexico ready to go here? Last year they got lit up against this team, gave up over 400 yards rushing, but he's got a whole nother year, a full year to be able to teach these guys. He talks about having an NFL-type linebacker and 2 other guys that look pretty decent. So I think they'll be able to not stop them, but able to slow them down just a bit. And that's what we're looking at here for this game. The triple option we talk about for Air Force, you know, they're going to run the ball 66 times a game. That's just what they do. You know, they're the number 1 rushing offense in the nation, going against the number 11th rushing defense in the nation. So we'll see what happens here, you know, but they really don't push the pace a whole lot, right about average for Air Force. And that's something that I like to see, that I love to see. When I look at this game, I look kind of similar to what I saw last year. So 21-0 ball game at halftime. Air Force goes on to just score 7 points in the second half, and that's what I like to see. You know, these academy teams, they're not Louisiana Lafayette. They're not running a hurry-up offense with a minute to go up double digits. They're not doing that bullshit. Oh, sorry. Can I say that?
Of course.
Oh, all right. Great.
Anything goes, man.
All right. Great. But yeah, I mentioned it. Run the ball, run the clock, and that's what I love to see here. And you mentioned it. I wasn't aware of that line movement dropping that much. I got a 47 in this game, and I was also looking at the team total. The team total was juice crazy for New Mexico. I saw it at 19.5 minus 150. So I'm waiting for that thing to drop just a bit. You know, I'll take even 17.5 in this game. I don't see New Mexico doing a whole lot offensively, and I like the under here. Even at 46, this game's staying under.
In Air Force, New Mexico. We got Sharon in the house. Thank you for joining us. DJ Big Boss here as well. And we are talking a little bit in the chat about the Survivor pick, Birdy taking Washington football team. I've not focused at all on the Survivor yet this week, and I will. Okay, here we go. Looking at a team total also for the Lobos, but that 19.5 is heavily juiced, so Nolly waiting on that to go down. But on the under 47 at this point, which is creeping down quickly, very, very quickly, we see 45 at Sports Interaction, 45.5 at Bet365, 46 at Pinnacle. Great job getting the 47 on the under. So 2 spots for Nolly Knows in college football. Florida State team total under 28.5 and the under 47. So we move, and that is the full game under 47 in Air Force, New Mexico. We move on to a quick NFL review. And this is more for me needing to talk out a couple things. And we will be talking college football on every show this week. So don't worry, there's a lot more college football. And those of you who need to see more college football, remember, we have our great show every Monday, and we cut all of the games up. So they're widely available on our Pub Sports YouTube page. Noli, we move on to NFL, and our friend Razor Sharp picks Beacon and us for the big Packers victory. You got anything to say back to our man Razor Sharp picks?
You know what? I want to give a shout out to my guy Razor Sharp Picks and the Green Bay Packers, a team that came out and just dominated. They did their thing. They look really good. Look at Aaron Rodgers, 9 of 9 in that first quarter. Guy's so good he completed a pass to himself. That's something. Defense looked like they were the dominant side. So shout out to the Green Bay Packers. Shout out to Razor Sharp Picks. You got me this time.
He got me as well. I'd like to go over a couple things. This is just going to be very quick. We're not going to dive deep into any of these spots, but I just want to talk about what I was going through after the show last night for hours, just staring at this. Yeah, I believe in these Bengals, and a usual spot, I would think this is a letdown spot. If the Bengals completely laid an egg on Thursday, it wouldn't blow my mind. I think there's a ton of volatility in a young club. But I also think they know that this is a huge showcase opportunity for them. And I am backing them in a big way. First half, full game. And I'm also on the full game over because I think there's going to be fireworks. I think there's going to be fireworks in this game. So I have only locked in 7 bets so far. And I say only because it's much lower than what I've been doing in the first 3 weeks of the year. And that's Jack's Cincinnati over 46 minus 110 and a double dip on the Bengals. We're going to break down this game heavy tomorrow. But, Noli, when I'm bullish on these Bengals on a Thursday night, does that make you nervous for me, or do you think I'm in a nice spot?
I think it makes me a little nervous, especially the game that they just come off of. It's still a young team. We talk about the quarterback. You talk about some of the receivers, whatnot. It's still a team that still has a lot to prove, but Jacksonville hasn't shown much of anything. You talk about everybody talks about the audio of Urban Meyer. It's like facing Alabama every week. Maybe he's in over his head, but I mean, it's a tough spot. Thursday night, though, this games I don't really like, but the home team, there's some good indicators here, but I hate Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Thursday night either, and for whatever reason, I don't count that win over the Steelers as a season-defining win. And if I did, I would not be so bullish on the Bengals, and maybe I'm way off on this spot. So a quick run through and a quick review. Washington, Atlanta Falcons, I'm uncomfortable with and off. Texans, Buffalo Bills. I can understand anybody who got in on the Texans plus 17.5, but I am uncomfortable with this game. Then we move on to the Lions, Bears, and I will be on the Bears. I'm just trying to wait for the perfect moment. And let's see if there's been any changing. We saw that it was going to go to 2.5 yesterday. Let's see if there's any change there. Now we have 2.5s at almost every book, but Bodog, Heritage, and Bet365 still hanging the 3, and that 3 is at plus money. But I want the 3-point victory to give me a win. I will be on the Bears and haven't moved yet. Then we have Panthers plus 5. That was the only bet I made before the show started, and that is 4.5 at most books. There's still 5s at Bet Online and Pinnacle, but you get a plus number if you back the Cowboys at 5. Then we have Colts, Dolphins, and I did move on the fish with some hesitancy. When I go over this, Noli, and I'm just going to quickly go over, I'd love if there's any spots that you really like, or there's spots that you're quite uncomfortable with. With Browns, Vikings, I watched Bebsy go first half full game on the Browns, but I've got $800 in 4 future bets on the Browns. And with these types of spots early in the year, when I want to see how they travel, I don't want to be in a situation where I compound losses. And if they win this game, it puts me in great shape. So no financial risk for me whatsoever in that game. Then Giants, Saints, no move for me. Titans, Jets, I'm interested in the Jets. And it scares me to say that out loud. And I just feel like with the injuries that the Titans have right now, that the Jets might be a play. And if you feel like the Jets are a play, maybe you should stop what you're doing and just think about it. And that's what I'm doing right now. And the plus 7.5 on the board is becoming more juiced. I'm not the only one thinking that the Jets are live at home here. Then we have Chiefs, Eagles. No move for me. Cards, Rams. I'm going to have to start making moves on Mondays because the Cards at plus 6 was a glorious spot in my estimation, one that I missed. And now it's 4.5s. And at Pinnacle, for instance, Arizona 4.5 at minus is juiced. If you want minus 4.5 for the Rams at minus 102, maybe I'm going to have to just take the Cards at plus 4.5, which is something that I might have to do. I moved on to Seattle, San Francisco under 52, Noli. I know you're a big fan of unders, and I moved on this under. Let's just take a look at what the market has done with it since I bet it under 52. It's now 52s right across the board. I know you know these teams very, very well. What do you think of me on the under in Seahawks Niners?
I looked into that game a little bit. I wanted to look over your card, but I was like, damn, it's all of them. It's all the damn games. But this one specifically, I got a lot to say because I got a lot invested, I guess. But this is a matchup this is a battle that happens every year in and year out. And I think they've overinflated this number a bit. I see this total should have opened up. I see 47.5, 48. So I definitely agree with you here. I see the numbers inflated. I'm definitely going. Definitely go under.
I love hearing that. Then I want the Broncos, and I'm just gobsmacked. How about that? I just cannot comprehend how the Ravens could be favorites here. I just don't get it, and it's just throwing me completely for a loop. So maybe it's time to stop waiting and move on the Broncos. Maybe I'm not going to get better than this. Maybe money will start coming in on the Broncos. So I'm going to be on them for sure. This Packers-Steelers spot, look, everything is screaming Packers here. But I don't know how bad the Steelers are. I mean, I don't know how bad the Steelers are. Bebsy moved on the Packers full game at minus 6.5. And there are 6.5s available for me right now. I could get this 6.5 at Bet365. It opened at 7. It's now sitting at 6.5. And in fact, there's been a 5-cent move since it moved to 6.5. A 5-cent move, and it changed this morning at 10-9 towards the Steelers. Noli, how bad are the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I mean, how bad has Ben Roethlisberger? That's like the question mark here. Big Ben, not the same guy that we're accustomed to. Are they just doing him a favor to put him here? And the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, he's got a lot to prove. That's the reigning MVP over there. The guy's still solid. And, if Joe Burrow's over there lighting them up, can't Aaron Rodgers do the same?
Yeah, interesting. And then we have Tampa Bay Buccaneers at New England Patriots. And this is a spot where I don't know what to say, but there's no way that the Buccaneers have proven to me that they should be 7-point favorites early in the year. Maybe week 12 or week 13 when they're completely rolling towards hopefully another Super Bowl appearance for them. But right now, I was so heavy on the Rams. I know these players really want to fight for Tom in New England, but I had some interest in the under here. Bebsy did move on the Buccaneers. This total sitting at 49 with no movement whatsoever. What's your what are your thoughts here in this Buccaneers-Patriots spot, Nolly?
Got to pull that trigger on the under. This is the under train I've been riding since last year. It's not an auto bet by any means, though. You know, when I look at these Tampa Bay Buccaneers, there is some question marks when you look at the defensive side, but on what side? You're talking about the defending the pass, giving up 338 yards passing, but rushing only 63.7. So if you're gonna make this Patriots team one dimensional, taking away the run, Mac Jones gonna be able to be the guy that pass it deep. Not yet, you know, maybe one day, but not here today. And they don't have the receiving core. They don't have the talent that some of these other teams that Tampa Bay has faced has. You know, New England just doesn't have those guys. They've been real conservative with the play call with Mac Jones, you know, so I'm on the under here.
Yeah, sitting at 49, sitting and just yelling at us. Mac Jones has got to clean up his play, and you'd expect him to in this situation. Then we have the Monday Nighter where I'm confidently on the Raiders at plus 3.5 and looking closely at the under. Dennis Garcia moved on the under. Let's just see if anything has changed here in this spot. The 3.5s minus 105. What did I have to pay for my 3.5? Let me just check this very quickly. Was it minus 110? Oh, I could get. It's now money moving towards Vegas. I mean, it's minus. It's still minus. Oh, sorry, that's the total. Let me just move over the spread. Yes, it's moved to minus 115. I love getting that hook. That hook is a huge score. But Dennis on the under in the Monday Nighter Vegas Chargers sitting at 52.5. I think that might be a really nice look. It's been at 52.5 since its opening, but there has been an 8-cent move towards the under. What do you think of that under on Monday night, Raiders Chargers?
Yeah, the under's pretty interesting. You talk about Raiders last year giving up some overs, but this year 3-0 to the under this year. So I mean, that's a very interesting. That's very interesting. And not the Raiders, the Chargers, excuse me. The Chargers were an over team. Now they're an under team. 3 straight unders this year. And the defense really playing extremely well, not giving up too much through the pass. So I think the Chargers, I mean, I lean that way, but I want to see a little more defense still.
Yeah, I think that it's paramount when you play the Raiders with their weapons. I mean, I guess I didn't realize there was some things I was shocked about. I was shocked at how all the experts were against them and their season win total, and they were expected to be the worst team in the division. That was, and by far the worst team in the division, was shocking. But Edwards, Ruggs, Renfroe, Waller, I mean, he's just got weapons everywhere. It's key to keep them off the field. And to do that, you got to just slowly, thoughtfully move the ball, without necessarily going for huge plays, although huge plays are important. I think that Dennis Garcia might really be onto something with the under there, and I'm going to take a little bit more time, but only 7 bets on the board for me. So the main thing that I've got to figure out is, do I want to sit here on Sunday on this very public look on the Green Bay Packers? Right now we have 6,405 tickets in, 90% of the tickets on the spread on the Packers, 82% of the cash on the Packers. So I have more work to do. Nolly Knows will be joining us Friday. He will also be on our Sunday morning big Pub Hub NFL show. So we're going to hear Nolly Knows looks on Sunday morning. And Friday, we're going to focus a little more on NCAA football. But if he wants to give something out in NFL, it's always up to him. Michael Overlina says these teams always put up numbers on each other. I'm on the Chargers -3, over 52. Chargers team total over, and Raiders and Chargers first half team total overs. I'm loading up on this game, and Allison agreeing. Okay, well that I'm going to spend more time focusing on this. Nolly Knows, absolutely great job, my man. Thank you so much for joining us today. Follow him on Twitter at Nolly Knows. A quick review of Nolly Knows' action here. He has given us the first 5 under 7 in Washington, Colorado. That's now at 6.5, and the under is juiced at 6.5. He's given us the first 5 under 4.5 at -115. That too has moved to 4 in the Yankees Blue Jays. He's on the first 5 under 4 at -105 in Phillies Braves. I'm going to be rolling with him. There's now juice associated with that bet. There wasn't when he bet it. I'm going to roll with him in there, even though Nola has not looked good on the road, and he hasn't looked good in his last start. It's just playoff type baseball, and you expect him to step up here, Nolly?
I think if you're going to back Aaron Nola, especially here this year, you don't want him off a good start. You want him off a bad start. That's when he's going to bounce back and just play off baseball. It's a whole different atmosphere. He looked good last time out against Atlanta. Those are the factors. And he has to hit.
Then Nolly is beating up this Tigers-Twins game. No run first inning. First 5 under 5. Full game under 9. Taint play today is also Detroit, Minnesota, first 5 under 5. And the Philadelphia, Atlanta, full game under 8. I'm going to be moving on the first 5 under 5 in that spot. Not going to double up. Then he gave us Florida State team total under 28.5 at -120. And the under 47 in Air Force, New Mexico. Nolly, spectacular work today. Any last words for the great cappers in the chat?
Hey, thanks everybody for listening. Hopefully I gave you some looks, and thanks again, Jimmy.
Our absolute pleasure. On behalf of Nolly Knows, myself, the man on the ones and twos, Jose Bouquet, Jeff Slaughter, and everybody here at Pub Sports Radio. Thank you guys so much for your support. Big shout out to the Vidless. Alex Ramirez started the Spidey play of the day. Juan Juarez, Shamar, Michael Ervalina. What a great group. Chris Brady, the Sweaty Butcher, Ryan Taylor, Unc Oliver, Dan T, Razor Sharp Picks. Razor Sharp Picks has this big horse racing show. Yes, Razor, and it hasn't been 2 weeks. Look, how could I possibly take 2 weeks off? But I did miss last week and didn't like missing last week. I'd love to jump on for at least a few races. Oh, shit. I will do my best to do that. Jose cutting me off. A sweet revenge for Jose Bouquet, cutting me off finally, and he deserves that. So I will try to jump on Razor Sharp Picks. So don't forget, closing line MLB show at 4 o'clock, and then Razor Sharp Picks horse racing show tonight. On behalf of all of us here, let's say, hey, those bookmakers!
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.